Tonight we watched, in the lead up for the new Transformers, the 1987 classic Transformers. The one where Optimus dies, that's set in 2005. Connor, what's the plot of Transformers, the movie?
Well, in the far distant future of 2005, the Earth looks quite a bit different because of the Transformers and 9/11. Megatron and the gang, the Decepticons, attack the Autobots and manage to kill most of the core cast. And then Optimus and Megatron get in a 1v1. And after Hot Rod's stupid ass tries to stop... After Hot Rod's stupid ass tries to stop Megatron, Optimus gets blasted and he ends up dying. Meanwhile, mortally wounded, Megatron goes off into space with some other Decepticons and becomes Galvatron, and the other Transformers become other toys. And then the new toys have to fight the new toys Autobots have to fight the new toys Decepticons, and the ultimate evil Unicron, famously Orson Welles' final role. So Aiden, what did you think of the Transformers movie?
Yeah, it's alright. It's very disjointed. The first 20 minutes is just all the old characters getting offed to make way for the new toy line. Optimus dies because he gets shot twice, but later in the movie we see like Ultra Magnus literally gets blown to pieces and they just put him back together. The movie just kind of hops around all over the place after Optimus dies. It's just like it'll cut to Galvatron hanging out with Unicron for a while, and then there's the Quintessons that are feeding people to the sharks.
The Sharkticons.
The Sharkticons, right, they're also robots. And then the movie will pivot and the heroes are on the junk planet with the Junkions, played by Weird Al. And they have their own Weird Al theme song. And then the Junkions are just forgotten about. The ending is very abrupt, where our heroes finally reach Unicron in a drill ship thing and drill through his eye. And then there's like 3 minutes of action, and then he explodes, and then they're on Cybertron. They go, yay! And less than 20 seconds after Unicron is dead, the credits roll. So it very efficiently and cynically got the new toy line out there. Despite that, the story's a mess, but there's lots of really cool animation. Surprisingly, I mean, there's definitely some parts that don't look as good, but like Unicron's transformation looks fucking incredible. And lots of other just really fancy, complicated animation of these characters that are pretty hard to animate since they're like cars and have all the little bits and bobs and move around. The music is iconic. It's very of its time. You know, you get an original Weird Al song for the Junkions.
Stan Bush's The Touch plays numerous times.
The Touch plays over and over again at horribly inappropriate times, like Optimus's final showdown with Megatron before he gets fucking blasted. The Transformers theme song is redone by Lion, and it's incredible. Yeah, it's good stuff. It's fun. There's lots of good animation. It's very cynical from a writing and production standpoint, but despite that, it's neat and fun. Yeah, I mean, it's alright. It's no masterpiece movie, but it's decently fun for what it is if you can get past the cynicism of the toy line replacement. Yeah. What do you think, Connor?
So, even though I didn't grow up when this movie came out, I was still traumatized by it myself as a kid. Because back in like 2007, when the first Transformers movie came out, I was very impressed by Michael Bay's new masterpiece. And I went back to the start to watch the G1 Transformers. And I started watching through the series because the entire series was available on YouTube.
Yep.
Each episode was 3 7-minute parts.
Yep.
And they even had the Transformers movie in a whopping like 24 parts.
Yeah.
And I watched it. And I was like, what the fuck? These characters that I love. These deep, genuine, well put together characters that aren't just fucking little fucking moderately fucking basically quick archetypes they whipped up to make a toy out of. You know, they died. They slaughter fucking Ironhide.
Yeah, they just blast through them all
Ratchet
in like 3
gets
minutes.
capped. Huffer.
It's like
They get them all.
pretty much every death in this movie just happens in like the first 10 minutes, and then they're just like, whatever, onto the.
They're like, alright, these are the new toys. But they do a good enough job of establishing the new toys. And I didn't really know spoilers going into this the first time back in 2007 when I watched it on YouTube, so I was quite surprised. But it's a decent movie. Like, animation-wise, it looks much better than the shitty TV show.
Yeah. It's not even
Like,
a
worlds
competition.
better. From a story perspective, like, the characters are actually decently fleshed out. Like, they tried to make these characters unique and actually did something with them. I'm not saying they're great, but I'm saying when compared to the original cast, there's decent variety. You got, like, Cup, who's like an old war veteran.
Yep.
You got Blur, who talks real fast.
Rodimus is the
Rodimus
plucky
is
hero.
He's a plucky hero. He's kind of a Luke Skywalker type.
The
There's a lot of Star Wars apes in this. Like,
Yeah.
they got lightsabers at one point.
I mean, the big threat is literally a planet-sized
planet
machine that eats planets, destroys
Yeah.
planets.
RC literally has the Princess Leia buns.
Yeah, she does.
It's very much a little Star Wars riff. The plot-wise, they're like, okay, we're gonna make Transformers into Star Wars.
Yep, more or less.
From a very, very, very loose plot way, and then they dick around on the Junkion planet and they fight Sharkticons.
Yeah, there's a lot of bullshit
They meet
around
up
to
with
fill
the
time.
Junkions.
You'd think the Unicron fight would last more than 3 minutes instead of just
Yeah.
hanging out with the fucking Weird Al for a while. I mean, Dare to Be Stupid's awesome, so.
Yeah, but I mean,
Worth
that
it,
shit's
but-
expensive, you know. Plus, the longer you have Unicron, the more you have to pay Orson Welles. So
Yeah,
They-
man who famously loved working on this movie.
they paid Orson Welles a bunch of money to record for like 25 minutes
On his deathbed.
on his deathbed. With like his 6 affairs and his wife sitting by, holding the mic, crying. His 6 mistresses. He was sad, and he was mad that he had to make a movie about Chinese robots that fight each other. I'll put it that way. Nice terms.
Yeah.
But I do think the animation by Toei is pretty great. And it was the first attempt at revitalizing Transformers, which, as we know now, the trick is just to reboot it with Optimus, Bumblebee, and a handful of new characters.
Yep.
Or not even necessarily new. Sometimes new, but mostly just remixed characters from G1.
Yep.
Back then, to revitalize the toy line, they didn't know what the fuck to do.
Yeah, nowadays they just release like Black Optimus Prime, Black Bumblebee.
Well, and then they switch every couple. They'll
And then the
switch out
movie's
the
just-
toy line every year or two. It's like
Yeah.
Power Rangers, you know?
Yeah, you got a
You
revolving
moderately
door
change
of
it.
1 year you got the movie toys, and then you got a classic line, and then you got a thing for some comic or animated show.
Right. Now there's enough Transformers lore that you can hawk this crap off to kids forever, but back then, you know, they had to figure something out. And what they figured out might be bizarre. It might
Yeah.
be weird.
Yeah, it's a bit bizarre.
But it made a pretty meh movie. I've talked about the other Transformers movies in my Why It Sucks series, because the Michael Bay Transformers suck, except for number 4. I regret calling that Why It Sucks. I should have called it Why It's Kino. And Bumblebee is okay. I talked about that one too. But I never got around to talking about this movie, so now is the time before I watch the new Transformers and have to formulate an opinion on that.
Yeah, maybe it'll be
Maybe it'll be good. But this you know, it has its moments.
Yeah.
It's something that's stuck with me. The soundtrack is a banger.
Yeah.
Really, really, really unbelievably cheesy. But there's some bangers. It's a guilty pleasure.
Watching
The movie,
Optimus
the
die to You
soundtrack-
Got the Touch is really something.
It works. The soundtrack, much like the movie, is cheesy, stupid garbage, but also kind of a banger. And that's my opinion on the Transformers movie.
Yep.
So, Aiden, would you recommend to our God-fearing audience Transformers the movie, the original movie? Would you recommend getting the 4K Shout Factory?
Yeah, maybe, I don't know. It's definitely got cool moments and a banger soundtrack. It's not very good. It's pretty meh outside of a few really cool moments and the music. I don't know. There's a set of people who are gonna like this that are either invested in Transformers or invested in animation. So I guess for those people, yeah. I don't think most people of our age are gonna get something out of this if they just raw dog into this. So I guess it's like a mixed recommendation, I suppose. It's a weird movie, so it's kind of hard to recommend. Connor, would you recommend Transformers the movie?
Here's my recommendation. Find a pretty man or woman to make love to, and in 7 or 8 years, plop your child in front of the Transformers G1. Make them watch it all. I would say on YouTube because that's the preferred method in like 160p quality. But since that's not an option anymore, just buy the Shout Factory box set. Plop them down, make them watch all the series, no spoilers, and then make them watch this movie.
Bam. You just
And
hit 'em with it.
hit them with it and see if they cry, because I don't think I cried as a kid, but I was definitely not happy. And then as I watched season 3, I grew to love these new characters, and I realized now as a cynical adult, like, Hasbro took a big risk and they succeeded.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't give a shit about Ironhide anymore when you had cool characters like Cup or Rodimus Prime.
Or Wheelie the Manlet.
Wheelie the Megan Fox. Wheelie is the only character that canonically fucked Megan Fox
True.
that we know of.
Mm-hmm.
We can't confirm that Sam Witwicky ever got it wet,
I guess not.
but Wheelie humped her leg
That's true. He
at the
did.
very least, canonically speaking. So
Mhm.
consider that. MGK and Wheelie are what do you call that? Eskimo brothers. Machine Gun Kelly should make a song for the next Transformers movie.
They should play Wheelie in the next Transformers movie.
That would be sick.
They should bring back Skids and
Well, they got Pete the Butthole Eyes Davidson playing Mirage in the new Transformers.
Sure, why not?
All right, well, we'll be back with you guys in like a week with our Transformers: Rise of Beast review. I guess before we wrap this up, since this was made to ride the hype train of the new Transformers, are you excited for Transformers: Rise of Beast?
I mean, I saw
Unicron is in that shit.
I saw the trailer and it looks okay. I'm kind of disappointed Michael Bay's not back, because sometimes Michael Bay just manages to get
He's a Kinomeister.
he gets the energy right sometimes. This will probably be a little more generic.
A broken clock is right on Transformers 4.
I think Transformers turning into animals is cool. So hopefully there's at least some fun action.
Just merging Beast Wars with the OG Transformers.
And I miss Marky Mark. So.
Yeah, they haven't really advertised the human side of this.
They're just not important anymore.
Some plucky kids.
Yeah, some little children. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm interested to see it. It's been a franchise. It can't be the worst one. It definitely can't be the worst one.
Can't be as bad as Revenge of the Fallen or Transformers 1 or 3. I think 4 and 5 are better than 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
Fucking
I think
sue
so.
me.
4 is my favorite one.
4 is my favorite one, and 5 is...
5 crosses into some dangerously stupid territory.
5 has a lot of stupid shit, but I still find it to be more tolerable than the first 3 garbage-ass movies.
Yeah.
Well, Aiden, did you hear the rumors?
Are you excited for the... what's the rumor?
Oh, yes, I am excited. Because I think, you can't go wrong. I mean, you can. Michael Bay did it many times. In fact, most of the Transformers franchise is wrong. But the rumor is, I don't know if it's true. So take this with a grain of salt. But I heard from a little birdie, Yoda Joe 93, shoutouts. He told me there's an end credit scene where Sector 7 meets up with the G.I. Joes to fight the Transformers.
I mean, they have been talking about doing a crossover movie for years. They kept fucking...
Yeah, but word on these streets are that...
I wouldn't doubt that happens. I mean...
Are you excited for that prospect that Sector 7 comes back to...
Which G.I. Joes are going to go in?
Probably a whole new set. I don't think they're keeping up. I think
Snake Eyes was a flop. And the fucking 2007 one's way too old, and they couldn't even get fucking Channing Tatum back for the second one. The Rock's a little fucking too busy to...
He's probably too big for G.I. Joe these days.
I think he's a little too big for the G.I. Joe sequel replacement character. Fucking Marlon Wayans or whoever the hell's in that movie.
Actually, The Rock lost a lot of star cred. He's not as famous as he was 5 years ago, or he's not as successful.
That's true.
After a series of flops, so...
That's true.
Maybe The Rock will star.
Yeah, they could bring back... I'm like the only person in the world who likes Snake Eyes, so...
I think they should bring John Cena back.
I guess maybe Snake Eyes will be there, maybe.
Because John Cena was in fucking Bumblebee. So I think John Cena should start Sector 7.
Yeah, he was...
that would be fucking Kino.
That would be funny.
If John Cena led the fucking G.I. Joes to fight the Transformers.
That'd be pretty cool.
And then the Transformers teamed up with fucking...
But also that movie takes place in like the 80s or something, doesn't it?
Yeah, but this one takes place in like the 90s, a couple years later. Because this is a prequel to Transformers. Because Bumblebee's his classic Camaro again. He's changed from Volkswagen Beetle to the Camaro from the first movie. But this does bring up an interesting quandary with the timeline, because all the Transformers but Optimus and Bumblebee either have to leave the planet or die. And then Optimus Prime has to go back to space and just pretend he landed for the first time in 2007.
Well, Bumblebee had to do that too, because Bumblebee fought the Nazis and no one knew about it. And then in Transformers 2007, he's one of the ones he'd literally see land.
No, Bumblebee's already there.
Oh, right. Bumblebee
Bumblebee's
is already
the scout.
there. Right.
So Bumblebee, you can kind of ass pull whatever.
Right.
But Optimus, Jazz, Ironhide, and Ratchet, you see land.
Yeah.
So it makes zero sense.
Back into space.
And Optimus Prime strongly implies it's going to take a series of retcons, but they can make it work maybe.
And then Sector 7 is gonna, everyone in Sector 7 who finds out about the Transformers in the new movie has to forget about the Transformers except for Megatron, who they knew about because he fell on the Hoover Dam. Or they built the Hoover Dam around him. But they didn't know about
Unicron is apparently the threat in this movie, so unless...
Even though...
I don't understand how Unicron is secret.
Yeah.
How do you make Unicron a secret? He's a whole ass planet. You think astronomers would be like, Unicron is 1,000 miles up.
Well, the end of Transformers 6 also set up Unicron. That movie takes place in like 2018 or something.
Yeah, well now it's a prequel on Unicron as the villain.
Yeah,
this might be...
The post-credit scene in the 6th movie is just non-canon now. Sure.
I don't know what's canon and what's not. It's more confusing than Fox's X-Men.
Yeah, they've been all over the place.
The Transformers canon.
Also, all those, like... I know, like, the original movie tie-in comic said that
also
Bumblebee came, like, a year ahead, and now the canon is that he was there since, like, the 30s.
Haley Steinfeld also, I don't think, is coming back. Haley Steinfeld, or whatever the hell her name is.
Yeah.
Because I think she's too famous to ever return to Transformers.
Okay.
So, she's not back for this one.
Yeah,
obviously,
they put her on a poster. She was or something.
Mark.
Yeah,
I'm sure she would come back for it because she is in the Hawkeye Disney Plus show, but
yeah,
she's probably too expensive, and I don't think the focus is the human characters anymore.
No, they don't give a shit anymore. I mean, the human characters were always just there to react to the robots, and I guess someone along the way finally realized that you could just cut out the middleman.
Well, now CGI is cheap enough that you can
afford to have Transformers on the screen at all times.
Right. It's easy enough.
So
it's not like 2007 where they're
Shia LaBeouf running around the park and climbing trees for 20 minutes to kill time.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess we will return to our Transformers conversation in a couple days.
Yep, we'll see you soon.
Rise of Beasts. This is the Rise of Beasts speculation cast.
Yep.
Peace out.
Dare to be stupid, my friends.
Dare to be stupid. Leonard Nimoy. Live long and prosper. Orson Welles. Rosebud.